This is everything you need to know to go to Lake Tahoe. All right, let's go. The first thing to know is just some general information about Lake Tahoe. First, I want to start with the lake itself, and then we'll talk a little bit about the region. So Lake Tahoe is the largest alpine lake in the USA. It's famous for its crystal clear blue waters. It's located right on the border between California and Nevada. Actually, the border runs right down the middle of it. Lake Tahoe is 22 miles long and 11 miles wide. It is also the second deepest lake in the USA. Now, the Lake Tahoe region itself gets about 3 million visitors annually, and it has been named by US News and World Report the second best destination to visit in all of California. In the summertime, people come to Lake Tahoe to go out on the water, to go hiking, to go golfing, to experience nature. In the winter, Lake Tahoe is a really popular skiing and snowboarding destination, as there are over 20 ski resorts around the lake. The second thing to know is some information to help you get oriented to Lake Tahoe. And by the way, I'm going to be shooting each one of these scenes at a different part of Tahoe. Right now, I'm at the top of Eagle Rock. This is a really neat 15-minute hike to get on top of this rock where you can get some of the best views of Lake Tahoe. But the first thing you need to know about to help you get oriented is that Lake Tahoe, the state line runs right down the middle of the river. Roughly 1/3 of the coastline is in Nevada and 2/3 of the coastline is in California. But really, it's not the states that divide it as much as it is north and south. So the north part of Tahoe, between the I-80 and the shore, is the more rustic, outdoorsy vibe part. You'll find a lot of big ski resorts that are up here. The south part of Lake Tahoe along the south shore, this is definitely the more developed, more urban part of Tahoe. You'll find all of the big casinos just on the Nevada state line. By the way, the town right there is actually called State Line. But related to this division, you'll find when you're going around, like if you go into tourist information centers, you may pick up a map and it's only of North Lake Tahoe towns or of South Lake Tahoe towns, because they really seem to run as two separate entities. What's on the east and west side? Mostly outdoorsy, park, forest sort of stuff. But if you're looking for nature, then you're definitely going to find it on the east and west shores. Now, some of the major areas that you'll probably want to check out along the lake, starting in the north side, is Incline Village. Incline Village is located on the eastern side of North Lake Tahoe, and it features some of the most relaxing beaches. And in the winter, Diamond Peak Ski Area is a great family-friendly ski resort. Next, heading over to the west, Kings Beach features kind of like a signature old downtown-y vibe public beach, hip shops and restaurants. It's right at the intersection of Highway 267 and 28, making it a perfect spot to start your Lake Tahoe journey if you're coming in from the Interstate 80. Now, over in this area, there are two big ski resorts. North Star is one big all-encompassing ski resort. The other one is in Olympic Squaw Valley. This is where the Olympics were held in 1960, really the event that put Lake Tahoe on the map for the world stage for winter sports. And a big resort over here is the Everline Resort that we'll talk more about in the hotels section. Now, just south of Olympic Valley, Tahoe City is the only outlet of Lake Tahoe. That's actually where I started the first part of this video. And if you're looking for a place to pick up maps like that North Lake Tahoe map that I showed you, the North Lake Tahoe Visitor Center is just right there on the Truckee River where it meets the lake. And then down in the south, in addition to State Line and the whole area that's just around that border, the other place that you might want to head if you're hiking is called Emerald Bay. It is definitely the most popular hike in the Lake Tahoe area, though this one that I'm at right now, Eagles Rock, is pretty good too. Quick note if you are hiking, because the elevation here is pretty high, a hike that seems short might seem a lot longer if you're not used to the high altitude hiking. Oh, and if you're looking to ski or snowboard in South Lake Tahoe, the biggest ski resort down there is Heavenly Valley. In addition to ski and snowboarding, the gondola at Heavenly Valley operates in the summer as a sightseeing gondola to take you up the top of the mountain to see the views or do some hikes, but it only operates on the summer on weekends. Another great viewpoint if you don't want to do any hiking is off of Route 41 between Incline Village and Reno, just a couple miles up the hill. Like, amazing views of Lake Tahoe here. You can see like the whole thing and Incline Village down below. The third thing to know before you go is about how to get into Lake Tahoe. And if you're flying in here, the closest airport is going to be Reno Tahoe Airport in Reno, Nevada. It's about a 45-minute drive from that airport to get to the closest part of Lake Tahoe, the northern part. It's not a really big airport, so there's not a ton of airlines Airlines that go in there, but if you can, that's the closest place to go. Southwest Airlines tend to be some of the big ones that go there. Coming in from Las Vegas is the biggest route coming into that airport. That's how I got in here. And then how do you get from there into Lake Tahoe? You can either pick up a rental car, or there are some shuttle companies that offer shuttle service from the airport into the Lake Tahoe area. The second closest airport is Sacramento International Airport. That's a bigger airport, so you'll find more flights that go into there. It is about a 2-hour drive from Sacramento into Lake Tahoe. The next closest airport is going to be the airports around San Francisco Bay. So San Francisco International, Oakland, and San Jose. It is about a 3.5-hour drive from the San Francisco Bay area. And if you're coming in from Los Angeles or Las Vegas, expect the drive to take about 8 hours. Many people also tend to connect Lake Tahoe with a trip to Yosemite National Park. The drive between the two is about 5 hours. Now, if you're coming to Lake Tahoe in the winter, there are some special provisions you'll need to know about driving, because if it snowed recently or it's currently snowing in a snowstorm, you're going to need snow chains on your tires in order to drive into and around Lake Tahoe. If you want to know more about driving in the winter or driving in the snow, I have a whole video about driving in the winter in the Lake Tahoe, all about chains, how do you do them, when do you need them. I'll put a little card up here and a link in the description and at the end of this video, so you can check that out if winter is your plan to visit. Because if you're coming in the summer, then you really don't care. The fourth thing to know is about getting around, and most people get around Lake Tahoe by driving around. There is one road that'll take you all around Lake Tahoe, and I mean, it changes names and numbers a few different times, but for all intents and purposes, if you just stay in the right lane and keep going counterclockwise, you will drive a circle around the lake. If you were just to drive it nonstop, it would take you about 3 hours to go around the whole thing. I did say it was a pretty big lake, right? It is pretty big. Now, if you're coming in the summer, you can expect that drive to take even longer, because this is a popular place. There's going to be traffic when they do construction, because it's only one lane on either side. They've got to close one lane off, so plan to spend more time if you're doing a lap around the lake. I would plan for a whole day, honestly, and just kind of stop whenever I see a cool thing. By the way, where am I right now? This is the Tahoe Vista Recreation Area. Little sandy beach back there. There's a boat launch. This is a great place to take a selfie with the lake, have a seat, and even use the public restroom if you need one. Now, if you're going to be doing any hiking, I would try to get to your hikes by 10 in the morning, because the parking lots are very small and they do fill up. Also, do be prepared to pay for parking in many areas. Most of the hiking parking lots do cost some money to park in. The resorts charge exorbitant fees, so do be aware. Like, if you're going to a resort for dinner or something and you're not staying there, check to see if they validate parking somehow with the restaurant, because otherwise you might be paying through the nose hourly to park at the major resorts around here. It's also worth noting that at nighttime, there are pretty much no street lights on the streets around here. They like to be able to see the nighttime sky, and so if driving in kind of total darkness is worrisome to you, you might want to try to get to destination before the sun goes down. And you'll probably also want to gas up before you get to Lake Tahoe. I found gas prices up here to be 15 to 20% more than off the mountain. Now, you might find that in some parts of the drive, your cell phone won't have any reception, and in that case, Google Maps or Apple Maps is not very useful to you unless you've downloaded the offline map. So do download the offline maps before you come, so that it can work if you have spotty cell phone coverage, and it's probably worthwhile carrying a paper map with you as well that you can pick up from one of those tourist information places. Now, another good option to driving is actually cycling. There are 50 miles of dedicated cycling paths around Lake Tahoe. And when I say dedicated, I don't mean like they're just part of the road and you ride next to the cars. I mean they're completely separate off-the-road bike lanes, and many of them just run right next to the lake. Beautiful views, good way to get around. You'll find plenty of bike rental places scattered all around the lake. And surprisingly, there actually are some decent public transportation options in Lake Tahoe, particularly in the north. You can take Tahoe Area Regional Transit. This is a free bus service that'll take you basically from Incline Village to Truckee, and then down the south to Meeks Bay, connecting to some of the Olympic Valley stuff. The hub of it is the Tahoe City Transit Center right here, and also the Truckee Mobility Hub over around the Amtrak station. And speaking of the Amtrak, yes, you can actually take the train into Lake Tahoe. Well, into Truckee, at least where the Amtrak station is on the California Zephyr line. It makes one stop daily in each direction at the Truckee Amtrak station. Oh, and if you're driving around here, you should know they definitely love their traffic circles in the Tahoe area. If you're not familiar with driving in traffic circles or roundabouts, the way that they go is you yield to everybody else that's in the circle. So if you get to the circle and there's somebody else driving around, you wait until they're done driving around and then you go in. In theory, everybody else waits for you. It's not a bad idea to slow down when you get up to those other cars, but don't stop, because that might confuse them that you want them to go. You don't stop in the traffic circle. In the traffic circle, you keep going. You got the right of way, and you just get out when you're ready. Or if you don't know where to go, just make a few laps in the traffic circle. Traffic circles, roundabouts are also a great way to make an easy legal U-turn. The fifth thing to know is about the weather and when to go. And a great part about Lake Tahoe is that it is often sunny. There are on average 278 sunny days per year. So yes, even sunny when you're hitting the ski slopes. So let's talk about skiing. Ski season in Lake Tahoe usually starts in mid-November and goes through about mid-April. I am actually here right now on May 1st. There is still snow on the mountains and some of the ski resorts are still open. There are 20 ski resorts in total, and so you can pick the one that you want to go to. But in that winter season from November through about February, the daytime highs range in about the 30s. The nighttime lows are generally in the teens. The busiest time of year to come, the summer, June, July, August, where the daytime highs are in the high 70s. The nighttime lows still cold, often in the 50s or the 40s. So coming in summer, you're still, even if you're shorts and t-shirt in the day, you're gonna wanna bring some long sleeves and some long pants. Due to the high alpine altitude here, the night times tend to get very cold all year round. Now, the best seasons to come if you wanna avoid the crowds and get the cheapest hotel rates are gonna be April and May, and then October and November. Why do I say that? Like hotel rates, and we're gonna talk about that coming up in the hotel section a little bit more, but they can easily be 4 times the price that they are in the shoulder season, or the shoulder season can be 75% off. The reason why is because if you are here in April or May or October, November, you can't be too sure exactly what activities are gonna be open. Is there gonna be snow? Is there not gonna be snow? Are the trails gonna open? Are they not gonna be open? But if you're okay with a little bit of a roll the dice and let me see what my vacation is, save some money by coming in those shoulder times. You should also know, being in the mountains, it can get really quite windy here. And so even though it's like 70 degrees and sunny right now, I feel like the wind chill is adding probably another -20. So take that into account when you're deciding whether you need sleeves or not. Sixth thing to know is about where to stay. And the good news is that there are tons of hotels in the Lake Tahoe region from every personal preference, whether you want something that's just a small cabin to something that's a high-end luxurious mega resort. So on the note of high-end luxurious mega resorts, the one I'm standing at right now is the Everline Resort. This one used to be the Squaw Valley Resort, but was rebranded in the past year. It's now a Hyatt affiliate. Like, a property like this has everything you could want, a whole bunch of restaurants, swimming pools. It has its own chairlift to go up the mountain. In the summer, it has its own big golf course, lots of swimming pools, and if their actual skis are closed, because they are right now when I'm here in May 1st, their skis aren't closed. The chairlifts are closed. They provide shuttle service to other ski lifts in the area. Some other luxurious resorts that I've enjoyed staying at, the Hyatt in Incline Village is where we stayed when OC Girl and I were here last time. That's another great everything resort. That one is right on Lake Tahoe. And they were really nice. We didn't really know how to put the snow chains on our car, but the staff at the hotel in the winter when it was snowing, they put the snow chains on our car. So that's pretty nice. Also nearby in that same area, the Ritz-Carlton Lake Tahoe is a great luxury resort as well. Now, where I'm staying on this trip, actually to save a little bit of money, is at the Spring Hill Suites in Truckee. Truckee is about 12 miles from Lake Tahoe itself, and you get some cheaper hotels over there. Spring Hill Suites right now is running about a third of the price of the Everline Resort, and I could use some Marriott points actually to stay over there. I'll have a full review of that Spring Hill Suites if you want to check it out. And if you're looking for one of Lake Tahoe's big casino resorts, you're gonna find all of those down in South Lake Tahoe on the Nevada side. Remember, no gambling in California, gambling in Nevada. So on the south side of Lake Tahoe, Tahoe. Just on the Nevada side of it, you'll find Harrah's, Bally's, these big casino hotels that have everything that you would expect from a great Nevada-style casino. Oh, now you might also be asking yourself, Chris, why are you at the Everline Resort if you're not staying there? Turns out I was actually here for a conference, the California State Parks Trails and Greenways Conference, talking on a panel about tech-infused trails, in particular doing audio guides for trails. One of the audio guides we did for this conference was actually an audio tour of this resort, showing the people who are at this conference what the cool things they could see around this place are. So that's why I'm here. So while I didn't stay here, I did talk to a lot of people who did, and they all really enjoyed it. The seventh thing to know is about food, and food in Lake Tahoe can be pretty expensive, particularly if you're eating at the resort areas. Now, if you want something a little bit cheaper, the good news is there's a lot of restaurants outside of the resorts, and there's a lot of restaurants that have great views. Tons of restaurants situated right on the lake with lake views, or for even cheaper and to get off the beaten tourist path a little bit, consider a restaurant with a river view. This is the Truckee River right here. I am at Front Street Station Pizza. These gigantic slices of pizza were $5.50 each, $3 for the drink, 14 bucks right here. Overall, a pretty decent pizza, but with an even more amazing view. Oh, and you'll find the tap water here, the water that comes out of the faucet, to be really good. It's some of the best in the USA. You don't need to buy bottled water here, but beware, the water fountains generally don't work in the winter. They turn them off because the pipes freeze. And the last thing to know is that I've got even more videos on the area. If you're considering a day trip to Reno, you might want to watch my Reno guide. As soon as it's out, I'll put it right here. You might want to know about driving in the winter, what the Spring Hill Suites in Truckee looks like, or some of my other videos from the San Francisco Bay Area, which is just 3 hours away. Well, fellow explorers, as usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in the next video.